Oh my god. 24 months. Oh no. Anyway, thank you for 2 whole years. Thank you. At Bird Kings. Thank you at Sake for being a bruiser. And thank you at Mayhem Magician for half a year of being an asshole. It's true at Quark_face. 2 whole years already. Crazy! But that's how it goes. It's crazy, isn't it? Oh my god! Oh no! Okay, oh, that's a lot. Oh no. Okay. Hold on. Let me. Give me a minute. Let me finish setting up. Hold on. Wait. No, don't get his ass. Chill. Zaddy, chill. Where's my table, dude? Guys, hold on, my thing broke. What the hell? You guys gotta slow down. Hold on. Wait a minute. Damn. I'm not even here yet. Wait. God. Okay, that's gonna have to be good enough. Okay, cool. Is my music not on? Sure isn't. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be wearing my Caspian fit today, but it's just me. It's just Crimzon Rulez. Sorry. I just wanted you guys to see the assets one more time before, you know, he's gone forever and dead. Okay, let me catch up a little bit. So, Servaday, holy shit. Thank you for 2 years of being exceptional. Hail Stink Butticus the Fourth. It is your final chance to take a pot shot at me before this bit dies with 2025. I submit my final monthly coupon for 1 free insult. The only insult I can give you is that you are neither a spider nor a fly, but a cockroach that refuses to die, that comes crawling out of the garbage time and time again to beg me for an ounce, a crumb of insults for you, and you just gobble it up. You gobble it up like a little monster you are. But yeah, hey, thanks for a whole year. That's absolutely crazy. Akia! Sorry, _Akia. Thank you for 24 months and 2 whole years of being exceptional. It has in fact been 2 years since you've known peace, and it will be many more until you know peace again. Yeah, no smoking. You're right, Gavis Bettle. You're right, Gavis Bettle. Who would smoke? How dare they? Sphinx is sleepy. Thank you for 2 years of being a Ruzader and exotic. Kami, thank you for being a bruiser as well. Am I caught up? I'm not caught up. Hold on. Meta Sheep, thank you for 2 years of being an Axel. You know that feeling when your mom calls you by your full legal name? I do. Hikaru is throwing the Zaddy tax. I don't know what that's about, but all right. Oh, because I said Zaddy chill. Oh, I get it. I get it. At Lunar Moon, Ash's good puppy. What? Says 9 months. Yippee! Is this where I get a baby Ruzader? Hell no. Well, I mean, if you want, I guess. Ask another Ruzader. That's your business. Anyways, crazy to think it's 3 months until I've been here for a full year. Isn't that wild? Thank you for being my least favorite and my Kami. I'm your Kami Yoshi. Thank you. At Cat Wafers, thank you for 23 months. VTRP was Peem. Also, I'm singing my message so you have no excuse to use my government name, June. Signing my message so you have no excuse to use my government name, June. It's not June. It's December right now. You're so silly. Come on, at Cat Wafers, chill. Anyway, thank you for 23 months. At Cincy Angel says, almost a year and a half of being here, and I come to you with a humble request. Will you do me the honors of please naming my orc fighter? He uses a warhammer and he's a reserved analytical type. Name him the Emperor of Mankind. No, I'm just kidding. The orc fighter who uses a warhammer is reserved and analytical. Is this classic D&D? Is this like Grumsh One-Eye type shit? Also, thank you for 17 months. Oh, I'm cracking open the bud, and by that I mean a Celsius, but yeah. Oh, like Fantasy High. Okay, well in that case, if you're looking at like more of like a more modern-ish setting, I mean, you can go with a lot of different things, right? Why don't you go with something that sounds a little bit more, I guess it depends on what you're thinking for the orc, right? Like, is their family like the type of orcs who subscribe to traditional orcology, or are they like trying to like fight against the bad perception that orcs have, or are orcs completely accepted in your setting and it's totally chill and they're just normal and like everybody's cool with them and like people stop being such assholes about it? Who knows? Who knows? Hey, that guy killed my friends. Where? Who? What? Why don't you name your orc reserved and analytical? Why don't you go with I keep wanting to say Beffrey, and that's a terrible name. I'm sorry, I want to call your orc Beffrey. I don't know why I want to do that. It's like Jeffrey, but somehow worse. Sorry, all the Jeffreys out there. Let's go with what's the guy I'm thinking of? I like Perseus. Go with Perseus. That sounds fun. That sounds fun to me. That's off the top of my head. You're welcome for that one. Who else have I missed? Chikai! Thank you for 6 months! Yippee! Sochi! Thank you for being a Ruzader as well. Thank you for the 5 kits of chips. Holy shit. K1 NG Burb. Definitely not King Burb. Squeak-chan! Thank you for 2 years of being in Jack X. 2 years following you, and the best birthday gift I've given myself. What? Hey, happy birthday. Congratulations. Holy shit. Happy birthday. Also, hi, B. 8 p.m. Celsius is some wild shit. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, I stopped blinking at like 6 p.m. because I pulled an all-nighter working on shit, and I'm gonna do it again today. So I gotta keep making people's little Christmas presents, and also I gotta plan for some streams later in this week. And also I've got some work projects that I stayed up till 6 a.m. working on yesterday, and I just got them done, but now I need to re-edit some of them because apparently they weren't done right. So I've got homework. Fur Tree, thank you for 23 months. I'm a little behind, but almost 2 years enjoying our Christmas treats. I hope you are. You better be, because I put so much of my heart in those. That's not all. I've got more plans in the works. Don't worry. Be free Jesus? No. Man, Magician, thank you for the soup. Oh, soups. I can see soups again. The world is better. The world's healing. At It's Gerald Marie, thank you for 22 months. And Merry Crumbus to you. Okay, I caught up. So, today, hi, I'm Crimzon Rulez. I'm Elysium's greatest monster hunter. I'm your least favorite idol. I'm the Midwest fantasy VTuber, etc., etc., etc. And I'm also the brain behind Caspian Recluse. And I wanted to talk a little bit about GTA VTRP, as well as Caspian and Gavin, Betol, and Barnacles, and Beef Jesus, and the brothers Rue, and Crocodile, and Rob, and Sadako, and just so many other people. I just kind of wanted to talk, so, you know, not caught up anymore. Oh, yeah? Well, watch this. Drank the soup right out that dumpling. Oh, my God, finally opened up the soup kitchen. I know, right? At Master_Tactician_101. You know, Myro's way easier to say than that, but it is what it is. Really, Carrie? Thanks. Jojo, thank you for... Sorry, Jojo B7454. Thank you for the soup. Yum, 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 yum. There were so many good characters, dude. There were so many good characters. I'm glad you guys liked my RP. I was so scared going into this. I'm not going to lie. Every time I go into an RP with any character, honestly, even if I go into an RP and it's like mostly just me, there's always a part of me that's... like, okay, this is cringe. This is lame. People are going to fucking hate this. Danny, thank you for the rose. Seraphim X Frey says, how's the soup? You know what? Pretty good. It tastes... Hold up. Is that a hint of... Is that a hint of blueberry? I taste. That's delicious. Thank you. I love seeing you play such a different and intense character. Yeah. I don't want to spend too long talking about like the origins of Caspian because I already did that, but I'll touch on it briefly. Kindwin98, thank you. Thank you for the delicious soup. Soup's back on. Looks like soup's back on the menu, boys. Oh, that sounds cool, Carrie. I'll take a look at that. Sorry, Carrie Caramel Cat Lover 7243. Falcona with the big orange suit. Thank you, Falcona_Natalius. Yum. Thank you. The world is healing. Soup is healing. And now I can use that soup to buy soup dumplings. Holy shit, having mercy. Thank you for a year and a half being exceptional. That is a very big number. That's a very big number for very big feelings. Thank you. Woo! 18 months, let's go. The VTRP was pure cinema. Actually made me choke up for a bit. Really? I did it. Also, thank you so much for the little Christmas gift. Want to praise it more, but I got no spit. And we'll never know what you wanted to say. We'll never know what you meant. The serious plot and a world of comedy worked out so surprisingly well. Thank you. I made you cry, Alex? Let's go. Whispering says, this is my hell yeah, I just finished another semester soup plus Caspian appreciation soup. Couldn't follow all the plot because finals, but I enjoyed it. Yes! Also, hey, congratulations on finishing semester. Damn. You know, I've been tossing around the idea of going to school lately, but I don't think I want to. I kind of want to, but I kind of don't. I think I just miss academia a little bit. I miss the structure and just learning new things because I do that on my own already on the daily. But like, I want to feel like I'm doing it for a reason sometimes. Anyway, nice try, Danny_GG. You guys cried? That's beautiful. Lucky Love Shot, welcome back. Hello. Man, I wish I would have got to interact with you more as well. Your roleplay's so good. So good I got intimidated at times. Don't think it's cringe. I love roleplaying with you. Yeah, thanks. Thank you. Woo, soup to celebrate Caspian killing my comfort characters. You're welcome. They're gone. They're dead forever. They're never coming back. No, I'm just kidding. You guys cried? Yes, good. Caspian served his role as a little piece of shit. All right, so real quick, let's talk Caspian originally. So Caspian originally was a little bit of a weird Yeah, you did, B. I know you cried. I know you choked up. You're a liar. B, I know you. B, I know you cried. Sorry, B2. Brr. Pan says, I got chills when Ruze showed up and cried at the end. Masterful storytelling all around. Huzzah. Well, the Ruze thing was completely, that was all the warlock, believe it or not. That was unbeknownst to me. I just rolled with the punches. Really crazy, by the way. Really crazy plot thread. Really well done by our mysterious warlock. Man, hearing me talk and seeing Caspian feels really weird, actually. Yikes. The goat for real. That's for real. And Karu says, watching you and Apollo at the same time is wild. Watching Barnacles regain memories while knowing Caspian was coming for him was like watching a horror movie while knowing the end. You did an excellent job playing the boogeyman. You rub my hands together like a fucked up fly. Thank you. Thank you for the big soup. Thank you. Yum. And thank you for saying so. Yeah. So Barnacles, I didn't get to keep up with all of his plot lines, unfortunately, because all you can do in moments like that, I feel like, is roll with whatever you know is going on. And since I refuse to watch other POVs while I'm in a roleplay server, I was basically reacting how Caspian would react in universe, and he didn't really know that Barnacles was regaining memories, if I'm being real. I saw a couple comic teasers on Twitter, and that was a little bit of like, uh-oh, something deeper's going on here, but I refused to like look deeper into it, so. That is crazy, VTuber. Maybe people who are obsessed with thinking that other people are like little mindless insects is like likely to turn them into evil warlocks at some point. Yes, B was also the warlock, for those of you who don't know, which I did not know either. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute, because I want to talk about a couple people who I ran into that I was totally wrong about who they were. But let's quickly get this out of the way. So Caspian's original concept was actually an arms dealer with a bent towards psychopathic killing, like a need to kill, like a compulsive desire to kill people. That completely went out the window when I started thinking about like who I wanted them to be inspired by, and once I got the vibe for the server, there was even an idea I threw around where I was like, oh well, maybe they're like a serial killer by night but delivery man by day, sort of like an Alfred and Batman type of scenario, but like during the day he's like really ingratiating and sweet and like helps people find places and others, but uses his delivery man like job as an excuse to like basically stalk targets, and then at night he's just, you know, a fucking cold-hearted killer who probably does it for money. But I was like, I don't think that's as compelling. So I gave up on that concept, and I was largely inspired by people like Silco and Walter White and Gus Fring, which I've already talked about. But I wanted I knew that Caspian needed something that makes him, I don't know, like relatable, grounded in a way, so it's not just like, oh, he's just like this big crime overlord, because those types of characters often ring as like a little hollow and a little bit like, I am the 12-year-old in the room and I'm the coolest and you will respect me. So I'm like, well, I wanted to make him a little bit like not as intimidating, you know, like a little older looking, give him some glasses, some fluffed up hair, give the like at least vague impression that he's not a very strong man. And I think I did that pretty all right. But yeah, he does roll out of bed tired. He does roll out of bed very sleepy. But the Ruze plot line, which is kind of funny that was so such a central plot to Caspian, because that was a backup plot. I remember I was thinking about Caspian. I was like, wouldn't it be funny if this was like Ruze's uncle? I was like, nah, I shouldn't do that. That's kind of a little cheat, a little out, a little ace in the sleeve. I shouldn't do that. That's tugging on like pulling on another character to make this character more interesting where they might lack depth. But once I realized the arms dealing thing was completely pointless and that there was no sort of like economy structured in GTA that I could pull on, because money's fun and goofy and it's part of the role play, but like mechanically money serves no purpose and neither do weapons. So I was like, well, that's kind of out the window. So then I turned to drugs for a bit on day one. I was like, well, that's kind of useless too. I was like, okay, so that's kind of out the window. And by the end of day one, I was like, nope, I'm pulling on the Ruze card. I guess I'm pulling that card. I got to do it. And I'm glad I did, because it made the character more compelling. And it gave him this sort of like I would call it like a cognitive dissonance, where it's like there's this man who's like obsessed with the idea of family, but not through compassion or care necessarily, at least not to his own admission. I'm sure part of Caspian definitely cares about Ruze, or cared about Ruze. He might have just been too cold to recognize it, or maybe he's just too damaged an individual to really truly understand what affection feels like anymore. But he does care about reputation. At least that's how he like rationalizes the vengeance in his mind. It's about making sure that like the family name isn't tarnished. Even though Ruze wasn't in the family business, really. Ruze was completely like divorced from that. Like Ruze's mom kept him separated from that side of the family. Thanks, Maven. Thank you. RP is so fickle and spontaneous, especially in a game that can be so clunky. I think you accomplished a lot given the nature of the game. Thank you, Bettle. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, that's the thing about every RP I go into. I'm aware that RP is inherently a type of... It's like trying to like do surfing with no surfboard. Like I know the waves are going to shift and I know I can't control the ocean, and there's so many other people, so many other plots going on, and I'm not going to like exert my will over them. I'm like, I'll establish my space, right? Like I'll take up my space in the room. I deserve my place in the role play, but I'm not going to exert my narrative on others, because that's how you get into like being the annoying guy in the room who thinks he's the most important. So rather than that, I just make a lot of contingency plans. I feel like for characters, almost every character I make, I have like 2 or 3 angles I can go at them from, just in case a couple don't work out. And I will admit, I was backed into a corner with Caspian on like by day 2, and I was panicking, and I was like, I gotta do something with this character because all of my plans are failing and I have no angle for him, and he's just not fitting into this setting. Archivista Archives, thank you for 5 months, by the way. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did have a lot of like sides of him. I even originally had the idea that he was still gonna have the delivery man. I made an outfit for him. Like in game, there's an outfit for Caspian where he's in like a UPS outfit, basically. Because that's how set I was. Like an hour, like literally the minute leading up to stream 1, I was still in that outfit thinking I was going to use it. But I was like, man, the idea that in such a silly server where everybody's always being so goofy, if I let up for a second, like if I take my foot off the gas on Caspian trying to aura farm and be intimidating, he will be a joke character like many other people, and that's because the server's vibe is so comedic. I have to put the foot on the gas of being serious at all times, because every inch I release of seriousness immediately like shifts him towards comedic. Which is fine, but it's not what I was going for. It's not the challenge I wanted to do. Stargazette 21, thank you for 23 months. This RP had me screaming at my screen. Thank you so much for an amazing story. I know these RP servers are a lot of work, but I really hope to see more in the future. Also, 23 months, that's what I'm saying, dude. It was inherently a joke. You were a literal fish out of water. Yes, exactly. The idea behind Caspian, he just wanted to go postal. Exactly, BTuber. The idea behind Caspian was I knew that this would be a somewhat comedic server, because last year was, and Ruze was such a silly character. I was like, but I want to play a serious character. And I was like, well, what better place to test my limits as an actor or whatever, or as a DM or a tabletop role player, than to be like, well, can I establish a serious grounds around a character in a setting that is inherently silly? Can I do this? And also, the added, I guess, difficulty of like, I'm not good at serious characters. I want to make jokes. Even as Caspian, it's constantly biting my tongue for like one-liners or innuendos or puns I can make. I'm like, shit, I can't say that. Caspian wouldn't say that. Don't say it. Like, I'm back here like fucking sweating, like pulling at my fucking like helmet, like, I don't need it. I'm not Spider-Man. I'm Walter White. I shouldn't make that joke. Don't do it. Bird King says, I'm curious how much you had down in writing in advance, be it in terms of jotting down ideas or just lines you wanted to say. I will get back to that at Bird Kings. Thank you. And by that, I mean Alistair. And thank you for the soup. The account formerly known as T. That's 2 whole years. That's crazy. Thank you so much. Thank you. Also, Zuna, holy shit, the big red super, the Crimzon. Man, that's a beautiful shade of crimson. I haven't seen that in 50 years. Also, I don't think Caspian used his face once. I just realized, wow. That man said, That's about it. Soups up. You pulled all the intangible strings together to form a tapestry of themes and connections because you were so solid and serious about what this man was from the jump on stream. I'm throwing out my top comments list to say Caspian's choice to ask Barnacles 1. What? Holy shit, Zuna. Whoa, wait a minute. Wow, crazy. That's why the warlock was allergic to gravity on Chiliad. Yeah, that's so smart, B. That's so smart to like turn off gravity so you can't like stumble and make a goof for yourself. Strawberry says you signed up to play the wrong Spider-Man. I did sign up to play the wrong Spider-Man. I signed up to play the fucking, what's that guy? The one, the not funny one. The one who's always serious. Ask Barnacles if you had people who would miss him back home, and then choosing to stick with his plan anyways is far and beyond the anchor to finding the Recluse. I'm so insanely proud of the work and talent you put on display this season. I hope you are too. I cry. Ah, thank you for the double Crimzupas. Thank you. And I am proud actually. And it took me a minute because originally I definitely was. All of that like hemming and hawing and sort of like musing to myself in character was definitely me behind Caspian being like, does Caspian like forgive Barnacles here? Is that the route? And I'm like, no, dude, I think he's a man of principles first, even to his own detriment. Even if it hurts him, even if it like he doesn't really want to know the answer to what he's asking Barnacles, he's still going to go through with it. Also, thank you for the soup. Skyline_purity, thank you for 2 whole years. I'm glad you enjoyed the RP. Thank you. Christian7146, a year and a half, says, I'm amazed anyone was able to stay serious around Beef. Dude, Beef was so fucking funny, dude. Trying to stay serious around Barnacles, Gavin, and Beef is insane. And I know Gavin's not inherently comedic, but he does have a comedic bent, and the accent helps that, obviously. Rosette, I swear to God. Rosette 007. If you're working for the CAI, I didn't do it. Thinariel says, if Gavin had to die, you were the perfect one to do the job of the story you made together. Bravo to you both for excellent execution on the execution. Thank you. But to jump back a little bit, let me address what you asked, Alistair. So Alistair says, I'm curious how much you had written down in advance, be it in terms of jotting down ideas or just lines you wanted to say. I don't know how... So really all of it was improv, basically, is what it boils down to. The only thing I usually write down for my characters, and by write down, I mean have set in my head, because I don't really literally take notes, if I'm being honest. I just don't care enough to put that on paper because I'm lazy. The only thing I really had set in my mind 100% about Caspian is he sees death as a means of enacting his will on the world, as having a purpose and a place in an otherwise uncaring universe. He thinks that like killing is in and of itself the only permanent change a man can make on the universe. I know that Caspian is a man of enterprise and who wants like a level of safety. And the only way he can find to do that is to be in charge and be powerful himself, because otherwise he's just subject to the whims of others. And I know Caspian is a man of principle. Those are the 3 things I knew about Caspian going into this. He's a person who sticks to maybe even archaic or bad principle when it would otherwise be wise. It would be smart to shift gears and do something else or let it go. How do you come up with these monologues and one-liners on the spot? Sheesh! I don't know, dude. That shit just kind of flows. That's just kind of a natural thing. Some of it's just like random facts I know, like the speech he was giving Gavin when he first met him before Dante showed up, and the speech he was giving Gavin right before he shot him. That kind of just flowed off the cuff because I know a little bit about brown recluse spiders because I researched them some while making the character because I knew I wanted his color to be brown as a key color, and I knew I wanted him to have something to do with spiders. So I was like, oh, okay, like that's just facts I know, and it just makes sense to tie those into some level of poetry. Peachy Z5959, thank you for 15 months, says this season of GTA is really Caspian versus Gavin until the end. Watching both POVs during the stream. It hurts that's how it ended, but it was really good. Thank you. Yeah, so I will say that was, so as far as pre-written things, Alistair, to answer your question, the idea that Caspian was going to kill Bettel was technically agreed upon beforehand. We didn't really write anything down other than one key word I was to listen for when our conversation was over. Other than that, it was all freestyling because we don't. I mean, I think Bettel is the type of person who's been role playing long enough. He likes to just like let things. I'm not trying to put words in his mouth, but he strikes me as the type of person who, like myself, likes to explore the character through like being in their head and just acting as them as things happen around them rather than like writing things down. I think he just wants to like react like naturalistically to a world that exists in his mind. Was it bad directing? Yes, bad directing was the key word I was looking for. That's about the only thing we agreed on. And Barnacles also agreed, had established that he wanted Caspian to be somebody who kills him. And I think the reason that had to happen is because I'm never going to pull the trigger on someone in roleplay unless it has been well established that this is a dangerous, scary server and anything can happen, or it's been established between the two parties beforehand that, you know, I'm looking for a narrative out for my character. Are you okay being that out? Or I'm like, hey, I'm okay killing anybody. Come to me if you need an out. Soft O says, thank you for the peak toxic old man Yowie. I cried. Yeah, you're welcome. I did. Yi Tama, I considered the idea of Caspian having a musical bent to him, but I was like, man, he's already got so many brown recluse little fun facts, and I've already indulged in a little bit of like theatrical, like fucking spider metaphors with him. I'm like, do I really want to give him violin with that as well? With that mindset, you'd make a great warlock. Thanks, VTuber. Thank you. So, let's talk Warlock and a couple other characters. So the Warlock I did not know was B, which is funny because I've known B for a long time. It's really goofy to learn. I was like sitting there racking my brain, like, who's the Warlock? Who's playing the Warlock? They're really good. I'm like, damn, they're really fucking solid at this. Are they playing the Entity too? Who the fuck is the Warlock? I'm just sitting here like pulling in my brain trying to be like, who is this? But also trying to figure out in the narrative who the Warlock was, and to later come to the realization it was B. It was just the funniest shit to me. I'm like, oh, of course. Of course. Classic. I'm interacting with the Warlock in a completely like stranger to stranger like context, and it's B. What the fuck is a Warlock, mate? Did you like the little spider poem I wrote for you? Yeah, Aurora. I usually like to do something cool for membership renewals, and I thought it suited you. It suited Caspian very well. Maybe not me, but it suited Caspian. You know what? Actually, it suits me too. You're right. And thank you for the soup, by the way. And the poem. What the fuck is a Warlock, mate? Wait until the Warlock gets in the attack helicopter. I'd rather not see the Warlock in the attack helicopter. That's terrifying as a concept. Dude, the Warlock plot as a whole threw me for such a loop. Okay, so that all started with, there's so many things I was so confused about, honestly. Because I thought B, I assumed you were playing multiple characters, because I'm like, B wouldn't just be disappearing randomly on certain days. And I was so convinced that Reaper was B, that I was so fucking casual with Reaper, and honestly so like aggressive with Reaper. And now I regret it, because that was a fucking stranger. I rolled up on Reaper like, I can be really forward with this person because I know that we're like buddies or whatever, and I can be chill with that. So I'm like, get in. And then this like level of tension between us, I was hitting what I thought was B with these fucking solid ass banger lines, being hyper aggressive and kind of like a little authoritative, where I usually wouldn't with like a stranger in roleplay, because I don't want to make them think I'm being a dick, right? So, and then later B's like, I'm not Reaper. I was like, uh-oh, shit. I told Cozy that. She said it was actually the best case scenario. I guess so. It was sick. I guess so, dude. I was like, oh no, shit, brother. Oh, fuck. I can't believe you sassed my mom. Yeah, my bad, dude. My bad. I'm so sorry, B. I was like, well, this is B. She gets it. She's not gonna care. And then it's B's mom, like, oh. Sorry, dude. I'm so sorry. Cozy, I am sorry. I didn't mean it. Ground this man. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys liked the interactions either way. I guess that's the beauty of roleplay. Sometimes you get funny interactions due to misconceptions. Sick-ass sniper rifle! Too bad I couldn't figure out how to shoot it properly. True. I would never have had the opportunity to use that anyway, because I'm not about to kill anybody permanently, obviously. Unless we've already previously discussed it, and I already knew how I wanted to handle the Gavin and Barnacles thing, and those were a little bit more intimate, so. Also, I'm not gonna lie, though, I did already have it in my head that, so this is not pre-scripted, per se, but I had it in my head. I was like, after Caspian kills Bettol, he's gotta take a cigarette from him. That's fucking cinema. That's cinema. I'm like, he's gotta lean down and take a cigarette out of his fucking coat pocket, right? Fair B. Warm hot dog funds for Gas Station Kitty. Thank you, Tsukiko Ichinose. Thank you. I haven't seen Gas Station Kitty. I went there today and I didn't see them. I hope I see them soon. Hollywood could never murder. Whoa, Apollo, back up. Alexander House says, you murderer, I hate you. I actually really like the last interaction Caspian had with Reaper, because usually I like to tie off my characters with a neat little bow and say, okay, that character's done. Because I like making new characters per RP. But I think Caspian's an interesting enough character and one far enough outside my wheelhouse that I would want to bring them back again in a more serious setting just to see. And I think the interaction with Reaper is funny because it not only indebts Caspian to someone who clearly has some weird powers and crazy connections, it also vaguely implies Caspian's still looking for a way to either become a warlock or kill demons. And I could see somebody who's obsessed with the idea that like killing things is how you enact power over them being a little shaken in the foundations of their belief structure when they realize there's unkillable like outsider entities in the universe. And I imagine the first thing Caspian would do is either be like, I need to find a way to kill them, or I need to become them, and then kill them anyway. So I think Caspian having a tie to Reaper is a good out for him, in that it keeps his narrative open for possible stuff in the future, which I'm not saying I'm going to do, but you can let your little fan fiction, fan theory minds run wild with that. Have a blast. How can you kill a god? What a grand and intoxicating innocence. Local Tooth Fairy! Sorry, at Local Tooth Fairy. Thank you for 2 whole years. Hello, Ruze. I finally got rid of my cookies and cream hair after 3.5 years. So you hate me, Dusk. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. I get it. You want me to die. Teeth, you're a monster, and you want me to die. Was that Dagoth? It might have been. What a grand and intoxicating innocence. Shame on you, sweet Nerevar. Can I post my Caspian by Reaper fic then? As long as you don't expect me to read it. But yeah, I'm sure the Rusaders would get a kick out of that. Thank you for 2 whole years, by the way. I'm not Dusk, but yes, I hate you. Sorry, Teeth. I saw a yellow Rusader and I thought. Tell the people the whole 10 days, you know those will kill you, right? Just to smoke one? Yeah, I'm sorry, that was clean. I was like, I keep saying this, and that wasn't planned. But as I kept saying it, I was like, this is kind of becoming a catchphrase. And I was like, wait, this is this. And then when I was like, oh, I quit a while ago, I was like, wait, no, this is genius. I'm like, this is genius. The hypocrisy, exactly. In a way, he wasn't wrong, though. That's all I'm saying. I agree, Hitori Bochi Sakana. I wanted Bettle's body to fall into the water, but no dice there. It would have been cool, because then I would have been... Well, then I wouldn't have got the cigarette, actually. Maybe not. Maybe I'm okay with the way I went. Maybe it's okay. He did get the classic imagine bleeding out here moment. Oh, that's true. I went back and I saw that Battle had these cool post credits too, and all these like little scenes from VTRP, and that was really, really well done. That was so cool. Zapier. I cried for like the last hour of that RP. Oh, you must have been a little, after watching what happened to Mr. Bethold, you must not have been having a good time when Barnacles went to meet Caspian. I'm sorry you guys had to see the villain POV, but it was nice playing a truly bad character. Like, Caspian has redeeming qualities, sure, but he's a bad guy. Let's be real. Let's be honest. Caspian's a bad guy. And I struggle embodying or playing truly bad people. But still trying to get around the psyche of why they are that way and how they don't see themselves that way. So that's cool. Actually, if you guys watched my most recent short that Verdant made, there's a little Easter egg in there for you guys regarding all the deaths in Los Sydney at the end. He's a bad man, but he's also a bad man. Lord Hare Bunnington 9988 says, "Hey brother, I watched the Game Awards watch along and I was glad to find another Tau fan. Quick question. Are you a slave to the Talva or do you stand with the Far Side Enclave?" Listen, I played Blood Elves and WoW. I got to stand with the Far Side Enclave. The Far Striders got me, brother. It is what it is. Also, thank you for the soup. I have not kept up on Tau lore enough to understand the true split there, but I understand that the Far Side Enclave was broken off with some Fire Warrior dude who's like a badass Fire Warrior who ended up like kind of deciding he's his own branch of no longer belonging to that weird culty like hierarchy sect thing, which I'm cool with. That sounds like the ideal for me. And I know that's the cheesy good guys in our evil space. I don't care. There's got to be good to counteract the bad. Otherwise the setting feels flat. And I'll play the good guys, sure. Just like I'll play the bad guys in a good guy setting. Barnacles had just gotten out of Super Hell. Barnacles was on lease. And also, if you think about it, Caspian was doing him a favor, all right? Maybe he sent Barnacles to heaven. And big shout out to Barnacles for keeping Caspian's seat warm in Super Hell. Danny_GG says, loving the Ruze shorts, by the way. Azure win. Sorry, who? Huh? Who? Rabbit Zero King, watching Caspian was a little treat. Thanks for giving us such a thank you for the magenta super, by the way. Thank you for giving us such a solid, well-built character to follow. I honestly wish I had built him out a little bit more. I do feel like Caspian at times was one note. There were times definitely like during the stream, and again, I really want to emphasize before I say this has nothing to do with anyone on the server. This has nothing to do with the server itself or the mods. There were times where I was definitely like in stream getting bored or tired or exhausted. And part of that is that Caspian is very draining to play because I am constantly like biting back jokes and I'm trying to maintain aura and I'm constantly thinking about like how to be like a dampener of like whimsy without being like a huge drag to be around. And that's draining. But also Caspian was a little bit laser focused in one note, which made it hard to be Caspian in situations that did not have to do with one of his goals, because Caspian as a character probably wouldn't fucking care about being in those situations. But I can't just be like, okay, bye, because that's shitty. That's bad roleplay. Like, that's good writing. Like, as a character in a book, this is something I think a lot of role players would benefit from thinking about, and it's something I'm learning as I learn what role playing is. Like, I've always been a DM, so I know a little bit, but to truly role play on equal footing with everyone else and be a character in a setting is different, and it's interesting, and I'm learning a lot as a novice. But something I'm learning is that writing a character and role playing a character are very, 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 very different, and you have to write them in a different way. If I wrote Caspian in a book, he would never tolerate being around half these characters. He would probably outright kill them or dismiss them and walk away. And that's good writing, because that's staying true to the character. But Caspian in a roleplay setting, you need to, I think the core of every roleplay character needs to be, how do I interact with the people in this setting no matter what? How do I interact with them, stay true to my character, but still give them the chance to be a part of this scene and also be a part of their scene, because nobody's story is more important than anybody else's in a role play setting. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Battle. Thank you. Gavis Battle says at Gavis_Battle. No, I'm just kidding. At Gavis Battle says biggest mistake of roleplay is going in with a preconceived expectation of your character. 1,000,000%. I think that's the problem a lot of people come into with roleplay. It's how you get this archetype of like this guy who comes in and he's like, my name is Darkness Destroyer Demon Way the 57th, and I'm the most badass of badasses who ever lived. And my character is stronger than everybody else, and I will dodge any bullet. And then someone walks up and like clocks him with a fucking baseball bat in the head. And they're like, no, you can't do that. My character wouldn't get hit by that. And it's like, well, you can't come in with that expectation, dude. You've got to just come in ready to roll. Just at Crescent Razor Moon. Well, yeah, but Crescent Razor Moon is a parody of that character. Falcona_Natalius. I'm going to keep using your legal names until YouTube fixes this, by the way. Love how you tried so hard to not laugh when the Aussies were around. Dude, they were funny as fuck. They were so fucking funny. But yeah, I think that's how you run into characters like that is trying to write a character that you have too much expectations for. So I think if I were to give you advice when you're going into a roleplay server, it's write a character who you are interested in seeing how they interact with other characters. Like have a core, have a foundation, but your main goal should still be, how do I be a part of other people's stories, and how do I, allow them to be a part of mine? I think focusing on a skill a character has is a basic good foundation / anchor for RP. So for me, my anchors are always anchor characters, like characters I'm inspired by, or just narrative arcs I'm inspired by. Like the next character I really want to play if I'm in a serious setting is somebody inspired by the narrative arcs of Arthas Menethil from Warcraft 3 and Proto-Man from the Proto-Man rock operas. Wolfram Xenia says, legitimately, you, Apollo, Battle, and everyone in the server crush it. I've been missing RP like this since I fell off of other stuff like Critical Role. I hope you guys do more stuff together in the future. If time and such allows, thanks. Thank you, Wolfram Xenia. Thank you for the Magenta Supa. I absolutely want to do more roleplay. I know it kills viewership, and I mean, that sucks. But on the other hand, I really do genuinely enjoy it. And I think I have a talent for it. I think I've got a skill set that lends itself well to it. So I want to do more. Time allowing, but I also gotta repair my platform a little bit now. I bled off a bunch of people, and also obviously I couldn't have soups on for that and stuff, so I had to be careful. But thank you very much for the Magenta Soup button. Thank you for saying so. Yeah, I agree. _Newleachka. I've really had fun kind of like blooming and like enjoying roleplay. It's funny, I had this moment. I was talking to Apollo the other day. Apollo, who I hate, who is not my friend because I don't have any friends. I was like, wait. He's like, what? I was like, I think I like roleplay. Damn it. He's like, what? I was like, I guess roleplay is kind of cool. He's like, yeah, roleplay is kind of cool. I was like, I guess. Because if you had asked me, like, I don't know, even 2 years ago when I started with cover, if you had asked me, are you a role player? I'd be like, no, I mean, I play TTRPGs, but I don't role play. What is your advice for role playing people who are kind of shy with their RP? Don't expect too much from them, and don't try to force them out of their shell. Just give them the opportunity to, and reassure them that it's okay if they are a little shy with their role play. I got my start as a DM teaching. I got my start with a group of 5 players. One of them had ever played D&D before, and the other 4 were brand new, and one of them stuck out the entire 3-year campaign. Actually, technically 3 of those brand new players stuck out the entire campaign. And the guy who had been there before. And one of them was incredibly shy, and she never got to the point where she was like using a character voice or like saying, I do this. It was always my character's name says something that is convincing, or my character's name says, why are you doing this? You know what I mean? And that was fine. I was like, that is role playing. You're okay. And they were always like really self-conscious about it. They're like, I'm not really role playing, and I'm sorry, I'm not like in character. And you know, just a lot of these like sort of apologetic statements about like not being able to be vulnerable enough to be in character. And I think if you're role playing with someone who's shy, just assure them that it's okay and that it's baby steps, and just keep being an example of that it's okay to be in character. Like, I was completely all right talking to them as an NPC, saying I and me, like first person like pronouns and shit, while using character voices, and then responding as themselves, saying my character says something that's like comforting. And I'm like, okay. And then I would just make that up in my head. I'd be like, okay, so does your character say something like, and then give them a sentence. So they'd be like, yeah, like that. And that's it. As long as she's having fun. Yeah. Simple Turtle Wiz says, thanks for the clips, Ruze. Patiently waiting for the nerd. Okay, bye. Hey, thank you. And good luck with the nerd whenever he shows up. Also, Nath_Shione, thank you for 7 months. And the cute little emote. Metal says, I was terrified of RP for a while. I think a lot of people really are, like, leading in. And I think I was really scared too in that setting, because I had never DM'd before. So I was already like trying to learn how to DM and what role playing really meant. But I went in being like, you know what, fuck it, dude. I watched Matthew Colville's videos before I decided to be a DM, and he really encouraged me to just be like, okay, I'm just gonna take a leap of faith. I'm just gonna try this. So I went to my local Garns and Boble, and I grabbed a set of 5th edition manuals, and I just did my best. I just gathered up some friends, and funnily enough, the person who was really awkward about roleplay, she didn't want to. She never set out to play D&D. She wasn't even a fucking nerd. She's a doctor. She doesn't consume nerd media. She doesn't watch nerd content. I still talk to her sometimes. I don't live anywhere near her anymore, but like we're still okay acquaintances or whatever. But at the time, we were just working together as baristas. And she's like, well, what's role play? Because she had no idea what nerd culture was. She's like very normie core, like goes to like fucking beach parties type of deal, right? Like is studying to be a doctor. And she would ask me at work constantly. She'd be like, oh, well, how do you like decide who does what? Or like, how do you decide if you win a fight? Or how do you decide like whether or not like you can like climb that ladder? And I'm like explaining mechanics. I'm like, well, you like roll dice and it's modified by how good your character is at these things. And that determines whether or not you're likely to succeed, but nothing is for assured, because nothing in life is for assured. It's just a simulator for if this was a real world and I am the like computer running the video game. She's like, okay, but like what if I said I wanted to like punch the mayor or whatever? I'm like, well, if you wanted to punch the mayor, I would say I'd make an attack roll, and you would just roll your attack dice, and then depending on how good you were with whatever weapon you're using, or if it's your bare hands, raw strength, then that would determine it. And she kept asking so many questions that at some point I was like, do you just want to play? We haven't done session 1 yet. I've got room for more players if you want. It's okay. I'll teach you how to play D&D. I don't know either, so you're going in with a bunch of new people. It's okay. And she's like, I don't know. But then like a few days later, she's like, is that offer still open? Is that okay? I was like, yeah. So I taught some like totally super normie person to play this. So if you ever feel like you're not nerdy enough or you're not aware enough of nerd culture to like participate in this shit, that's not true. This is the most normie person that has ever lived. This is like full minimalist, like house is decorated with maybe a single house plant. Everything is white and gray. Fucking, I am a doctor and I am a highly analytical mind, and I don't really like do creative media typically type of person. And they still had a great time and stuck it out for 3 years, and we still talk about it to this day. They're still like, yeah, that was a really fun time in my life. I enjoyed that. Hell yeah, brother. Low-key roasted? No. I'm not trying to roast this person. They're cool. They're significantly smarter than I am, and significantly more accomplished, and living a much more stable existence. And I appreciate that. And you know, since then, I feel like they've really come into their own. You know, I feel like they've like. I know they started watching a lot more nerd media, and believe it or not, at the time I was involved with like a cosplay group, and they did their first cosplay because of that, because they got involved in that group, and it was just a lot of them stepping out of their shell, and that was really cool. Who did I cosplay? That's a secret. RPing can be really cathartic. Another one of the players, I feel like started out kind of like, he was the player who knew what was like, he had played D&D before, but he had only ever played beer and chips D&D. So he was fucking gabberflasted when it was like still silly and fun, and there was a lot of like dick jokes and goofing off, but then his character's narrative was important, and he started out being literally, I'm a drunk dwarf who likes to hit things, and by the end of it, he was the son of a like legendary blacksmith from a dwarven culture who had been overrun by a dwarven necromancer who turned an entire half of the mountain into zombies and stood valiantly against a siege of these people where the king died, and as the next like closest leader of these people, he sacrificed his character to become a pseudo like governor until they could find the next bloodline of the king, and started a new character. And was like, you know what, I didn't think I liked serious like narratives or lore, but you made me care about my character in a way I didn't think I would, and I just can't see role playing the same. And then he went on to DM. He's like, I want to be a DM now. He's like, I think I'm kind of like, I'd like to write stories like that. And I'm like, that's so cool. And another one of the players, she started out, I would say not in her own, but I think she started out with a preconceived notion of herself, but she ended up playing a barbarian because she wanted to challenge herself to play something she would never play. And through that character, grew into being a pretty assertive person. She's like, I think that character was the catalyst for me to realize I had been like hiding a part of my personality I didn't know was there, and like coming out of my shell and becoming a little bit more like assertive and like standing up for myself in more situations and taking less bullshit when otherwise I might have taken more in my life. And I'm like, that's sick as hell, dude. Roleplay's cool. It's cathartic in a lot of ways. The Sarah Stars, thank you for 2 whole years of being a jackass, by the way. I'm here to redeem my membership soup. My son, Kat, says thank you for the GTA VTRP streams to Eep to. No problem. Congratulations. I hope they eeped super well. And thank you for 2 years. Saya _ Chaco _ Ising. Thanks for 2 years. In the words of Kyoko Shimizu, you don't need grand reasons to start something new. A little curiosity is enough. Exactly. Thanks for sparking curiosity. I'm here to help. I don't want anybody crying. If people cry, get away from me. You can cry in your own time. Don't cry near me. I immediately go into uh-oh mode. Other DMs might want to see tears. I don't want to see any damn tears. Pixie Pog, thank you for 19 months of being exceptional. What a crazy number. As a theater girly, I feel like roleplay is very similar. You can go into it just thinking about your character. You can't go into it just thinking about your character. You need to listen to what others are saying and allow yourself to react in real time to what's happening. It can be hard to balance, but it's very fun. Exactly. What if they want to make a sad backstory to break the table? That's fine. Nothing can make me cry, so I'd be fine. But if the other players want to cry, that's their business, brother. Well, yeah, Carrie, I would say Pokemon is more of an RPG in the sense of the video game term RPG. I think roleplay is a little different. Like, yes, you're technically playing a role in that game, but you're not acting the role. You know what I mean? Tofu Bunny Cat, thank you for 2 whole months of being an Axel. Wait, no, you've been here longer than that. Did you lose a streak or something? What the hell? It was fun watching Caspian be one of the most serious characters in the City of Loonies. I don't know how you managed to hold in the laughs, barely. But I want to get back to talking about GTA RP a little bit, because we've been talking about roleplay for like the last 15 minutes. And I do have a meeting today, so I can't run on too long here. At Necronomicon666, thank you for 1.5 years of being an Axel, and many other things. Looking back to both GTA RP, which between Ruze or Recluse do you feel is a stronger character that you will remember later on? I think definitely Caspian Recluse. I think Ruze being my first like foray into a roleplay server and knowing I was going in as a joke character with a joke of my own name, whose whole concept was how do I be subversive in this setting? And I had misconstrued GTA as a setting where like everybody was going to be like serious mobsters and like running drugs and shooting guns and fuck the police type shit, which they are doing those things, but in the most comedic caricature way. So I was like, what character would be subversive in this setting? And I'm like, a farm boy who knows nothing about the city and is actually very innocent and sweet. That was it. That was all of the thought that went into that character. Even the part with his mom, like Crimzon Katie, being like probably a serial killer and him helping her dig graves without knowing why he was doing that or what he was digging. He thought he was digging holes as part of a fun game. That was mostly a joke just to give him like a funny character beat to play off of. It had nothing to do with like deeper lore. But that's the fun, is you can take a joke character and you could turn it into something serious later. You could be like, okay, that was funny. Now, why does this matter? Like, how does this relate to other characters? And I think I prefer Caspian because Caspian was forced to deepen that narrative. He was forced to take that narrative that was funny and be like, why is this serious? Queen Canis, thank you for the soup. Says, can I ask why Caspian always wears gloves? Yes, you can. So Caspian always wears gloves because he unfortunately hurt his hands early on when he was a kid. Got bit. Maybe not both hands. Which hand? I will never say. But he got bit by a brown recluse spider, which started his obsession with him. The recluse name, fun fact, was not going to be Caspian's name originally. Originally, I was going to have him call himself the Recluse, but his real name was going to be Caspian Roach, and he was going to have been made fun of a lot growing up for that. But when he got bit by a brown recluse spider, he became obsessed with them. But then I decided that was too complex a narrative, and there'd be no real chance to have that conversation in GTA RP, so I kind of dropped it. And also, I think it gave Caspian... Again, I was trying to like whittle away the edges of Caspian and find out how to take away parts that were less serious from him, so that when he wasn't serious, it hit a little harder. My only regret with Caspian, really, the only beat I missed that I really wanted to hit was him getting trapped somewhere where he felt like he had no out. The closest I got was standing on that dock on the mountain where he was like throwing a bit of a fit and stomping by himself and like losing it a little bit when he couldn't figure out how to kill the warlock. When he realized he was in over his head. But I wanted him to be in a situation where he lost his cool really bad. Not even the prison. The problem with the prison was I thought there was a way out. Like me, like Ruze. I was like, oh, well, there's a way to break out of here. So I was still keeping my cool. I didn't realize it was like a super secret, like actually like unbreakable prison. What are your thoughts on Bend Over? Poor Bend Over. Poor beset Bend Over had too much to deal with. Bend Over was in the exact same position that Clifford found himself in after becoming mayor, and I was like, that I don't envy that. That and a few times he lost aura and had to reclaim it immediately. Yeah, part of that I think is that's good about roleplay is no matter how serious your character is, things are going to happen to them that you cannot control. And I think that's what I was talking about earlier with not coming into a role play with expectations of your character. You got to be ready for stupid shit to happen and know how you're going to play it off necessarily, but you need to be ready to play it off or just roll with it. Fuck it. There's always a low roll. Exactly. Thinking about a role-playing character the same way you would think about a D&D character is usually pretty wise because there is always a nat 1 that can or will happen. Yeah, I think that's why I like roleplay over something like just telling a narrative or telling a story. I like telling stories, don't get me wrong, but roleplays are interesting because the universe and Lady Luck is playing with me. She's telling the story alongside me, and I prefer that because I get to be surprised along with the reader or the viewer or whatever. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Yuzuru. Yeah, slipping on that baby oil while sneaking up on the entity was insane aura loss. And what's crazy is I wasn't even considering the idea that that could happen. I was so confident my character was going to grab that edge because it was at hip height when I made that jump. I was like, well, this is an easy jump. And debatably, the character should have grabbed the edge. I'm like, well, the parkour and the system in this game suggests you will grab this edge. Sure fucking didn't. That dude collided at the fucking navel and then said, bye. I was like, oh, all right. Bye, I guess. Lily Gilly, thank you for 2 whole years of being exceptional. Lily Gilly says, sorry, at Lily Gilly says, I was so impressed by the way you picked up threads from the goofiness of VTRP 1 and made it have weight/plot consequences in VTRP 2. I shed tears for Ruze. It's been a delight to see your storytelling develop. The phone call where Caspian joined Warlock made me gasp. Good. That was, okay, so that was tough. There's a couple things that didn't go the way I wanted. Like, you come into this with, like, no expectations, right? But you have desires. I was hoping Caspian would have a chance to try to betray the Warlock, but that opportunity never presented itself. And that's not, again, nobody's fault. B, I know you're here, and this, I know you were juggling a million billion things in there, and I'm not saying you did anything wrong here, obviously. It's just when 2 parties go into a situation unaware of how it works out. I had thought at some point the Warlock would physically manifest and Caspian would be able to, like, turn on them, because Caspian's just not the type of guy who's ever going to sit under anybody's thumb or be at anybody's, like, mercy, essentially. He's inherently afraid man. I think Caspian's core is fear and somewhat duty. I think he's a man who is motivated by his lack of control in the universe, and so he won't sit under somebody else's control unless if there's any opportunity to kill them. But when the only ultimatum delivered was step into this portal, but you'll die forever, I had to, like, really quickly in that moment make a critical decision. I'm like, would Caspian do this? And the answer is no. If other people are willing to throw themselves in and die fighting the Warlock, Caspian would absolutely just be like, well, I'm not the main character here. No, I've got other things to take care of. Especially when he realized that not both Barnacles and Bettel had gone in. He'd be like, well, I'm not leaving one of these people out here to survive if this succeeds. So, yes, I wanted Caspian to, like, betray the Warlock. It just never played out that way. That's crazy. The number of people that made that decision was staggering to me, right? It's actually similar to when Caspian first interacted with Barnacles, and I'm not saying this is like a dig or anything. Apollo is an incredible role player. Barnacles is an incredible character, before I say this. But I felt the wind had been taken out of my sails when Caspian first talked to Barnacles, because the interaction with Gavin, obviously Gavin was silly and goofy, but he was still, like, treating Caspian as a real threat. And when interacting with Barnacles hit him with the I can't die, and it was like, oh, well, that declaws this character immediately. I'm like, okay, what do I do now? Like, Caspian's like, I'm gonna kill you, which obviously I wasn't gonna do it in that moment, because you're not gonna do that. But Barnacles is like, I can't die. In fact, nobody can die. I was like, oh. I'm like, now I need to figure out what this character is going to do, because that completely takes the wind out of that character's sails instantly. I'm like, I've got to go figure something out. Then the Warlock subplot came up and saved everything, because I was like, Caspian has, like, no purpose here if he is not a legitimate threat. The Warlock made it work. You saved that. B single-handedly saved that narrative for me. Caspian, the fuck you mean? Nuh-uh. Yeah, I was really struggling in that scene, because I was like, well, what do I do now? How am I supposed to handle this? How am I supposed to handle this Caspian scenario if he can't be a threat and this character is literally kind of, like, smiling in his face, being like, I can't die? I'm like, as a player, I can't just be like, well, yeah, you can, because I know what happens. Caspian shoots Barnacles in the face, and Barnacles is like, see, I'm still alive. And he's like, well, he is right. He is still alive. And on the other hand, if I do pull the trigger, I immediately prove Barnacles right, and then Caspian's really shaken to his core. And I'm like, well, I think I need Caspian to go investigate, is what I need Caspian to do. So I'm glad that the Warlock subplot happened, because I was really lost on Caspian's character in that moment, and that's on me, because I came in with an expectation, and the expectation was that Caspian could be a legitimate threat, and that was foolish of me. Who was the entity and what did they want? I don't know. with all the riddles and stuff? I have no idea. Also, Bettle, I'm so sorry you missed the portal. I missed the portal too. I was kind of just lingering in the back, waiting to see if both Barnacles and Gavin went in. I was at my wit's end 100%, Ocean Stalker, yeah. Oh well, oh well. That's true, that's true. It did work out perfectly for separating them to kill later. But then there was just a madhouse. I can only imagine how chaotic that scene truly was. And even without the big warlock narrative and stuff, like that was a really big narrative and it was super cool. But like the narratives with like the small moments, like speaking with Jackie Hoff and Ben Dover's entire arc with the police force and the Rue brothers and the mayoral candidacy, which I'm so glad I stayed the fuck away from. I was like, I will not be involved in another mayor plot. I'm glad the mayor plot happened. I thought it was really cool, but I'm like, I have to be a background character in this. I will not be involved in another mayor plot. I cannot tie this character to Clifford. Bettle says, yeah, I'm glad it worked out, but hearing that the warlock died over the phone was so funny to me. Dude, I could hear it in your voice when you're like, oh. I was like, I'm like, this motherfucker was like, oh, that's it, huh? That was me when the big battle happened on the mountain. I thought there was gonna be like explosions and bombs going off and stuff. I was like, man, I should have asked if there was C4. That would have been so funny. But it kind of was just a quick like Zerg rush and then it was over. If there was a slingshot item, I was gonna sneak it in your pocket. I would have thrown that shit away like it was a fucking kryptonite. B, if you snuck a slingshot item into my pocket, that shit would have ended up at the bottom of the ocean. That shit would have gone straight to super hell. I might have indulged in one slingshot, maybe. Our laser guns were super cool. What do you mean? Okay, the laser guns were cool. I was using my musket for most of it because those things could not hit at range. And then apparently I accidentally shot Bo. My bad, Bo. Sorry. Dude, the Rue brothers were so fucking funny. And Crocodile and the Aussies just in general were such a good, like, God, I'm so glad they were there. They were so fucking funny. And then there was a moment where, besides just being funny, I think they were interesting in that they were an air quote silly set of characters that had a somewhat serious effect on the narrative. And I thought that was cool. But if the mayoral plot ended up being the main plot, the plan with Caspian was to be like, well, you're tied in with a criminal organization now. He was still going to try to manipulate them because Caspian's a piece of shit. The moment they were in office, if that became the main plot, he would have immediately been like strolling into the mayoral office like, I need you to do some work for me. And they'd be like, well, we're the mayors. And Caspian would be like, that's nice. You still work for me. I didn't know about the range, but I was really all about the cinema. And the lasers looked peak. The lasers did look peak firing down from the mountain. It was cool. Caspian's a real piece of shit. The lever I was going to pull on that one was Caspian being like, do you really want the people knowing that you like used to work for like a scummy criminal underlord? Because that's what I am. And I'll gladly go public with that because I have nothing to lose. But I don't think you want them to know that. But it didn't end up being a very heavy political plot, so it's fine. That was just the lever I was ready to pull. And the fucking dude, Crocodile and the Rue brothers were all so fucking good. They were so funny. And that little like family feud they had at the end, I was so like, ugh. I was like, Caspian isn't gonna be nice about this, but I ended up being nice about it anyway. I couldn't help it. I was like, well, Caspian's a family man, sort of. Like he might talk to Crocodile about this. I was like, he might. Like, I'll do it. The Brad Chad shit was so good. I also really loved that these were moments for Caspian to aura farm that he should not have been allowed to aura farm in. You go in with so much fucking like dick wagging confidence, and it only takes a moment of failure to have all of the aura sucked out of you like the fucking blood from a super mosquito. When I walked into the fucking casino and the Rue brothers were gambling, I was like, time's up. Or like gambling, yeah, fun time's over. You've got a job to do. When I hit him with a fun time's over. You've got a job to do. They absolutely were well within their rights to be like, fuck off, mate. But nope, they got up and I was like, damn, okay, damn. Now that's Aura, Caspian, good for you. Or when Brad and Chad were like gonna have him have the stick up and he's just casually walks in and is like, do you mind if I take a seat? And then just doesn't do anything, just lets him pull the gun and stares at him. I'm like, damn, okay, all he had to do was pull the trigger and that would have immediately, the wind would be gone, but nope. Cool as fuck, brother. He got to be cool in that moment. All because Chad jumped in the way. And I didn't have to do anything. I just had to go in with the raw confidence of, well, I hope I'm cool in this moment. I could be very stupid, but I hope I'm cool. Kyler, yes, Kyler. I said Chad. I meant Kyler. Chad was a totally different character who was also very funny. Yeah, calling Reaper into the car. That I went into that with so much confidence because I was sure that was B. Being like, get in the car was a moment where I could have lost a bajillion aura. And then almost running out of gas, I was sweating, dude. I was sweating trying to keep character. I was like, fuck. And the interactions with Rob. Yeah, Rob was fun. That was a chance for Caspian to be like, to question myself, like, how would Caspian interact with what is essentially a child? How would Caspian interact if he thought he was talking to someone who has no moral structure and is learning about the world and learning what it means to be in this world? From my POV, Caspian was a good guy. Rob Butt here. Hello! Daya, Rob was such a fucking cool character to interact with because it was originally hard. I think I was avoiding characters like Rob and Sadako and like the clowns and stuff because a part of me was like, well, Caspian just wouldn't be around these characters. They're too silly. But the reality is, A, that was disingenuous to myself and my goal because I set out to play a serious character in a silly setting. And if I like avoid silly characters in this setting, I'm not pushing my goal. I'm just avoiding it. And that sucks. I'm not challenging myself truly. But secondarily, I think you can learn a lot about a character by being like, how would they interact in this setting? How would they interact with these characters? So to interact with what was a pretty silly character at first revealed a lot about Caspian to me. So that was really fun. And then seeing Rob come into this, like, his whole arc of coming into his own was so fucking cool, man. So it ended up being great. I love that. You can't stop the ghost from haunting. True, Nari. Also, Sadako ended up being sort of I thought what was interesting about Sadako was I was trying to like process. I'm like, how would Caspian interact with this character but still stay in character as Caspian? Like, what would he do if this character was like literally communicating with us? And I think the conclusion I came to is he would probably just talk out loud. And I mean this in the most respectful way, but like he was talking to a pet. Like kind of like how you talk to your cats or your dog or something, because the other person isn't responding. So he assumes it's safe in a way to just speak as if he's talking to his own conscience, which made a really good sort of like bouncing board for Caspian to just kind of deliver his thoughts directly without like artifice or this like layer of like metaphor or whatever. Hell yeah, Daya, hell yeah. Rob was so good. Hell yeah, Daya. Hell yeah. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad, Nori. Nari, sorry. God, I hate the @ names. Give me back my names, YouTube. Flying with you and Sato was a highlight. Dude, Sadako interjecting with in the background during that conversation was so fucking funny. Any thoughts on Alley Cat? Alley Cat was interesting because Mocha is somebody I've known for about as long as I've known B. Actually, a little longer. So we're old acquaintances, not friends, because I hate everybody. And Alley Cat is funny because I have a very, like... I think Mocha and I have a very, like... it's a very antagonistic... Not friendship, because we're not friends. Relationship, acquaintanceship, sure. Where we tend to insult each other a lot. So... It was no surprise that Mocha refused to call Caspian by his name. And it was no surprise that Caspian was an outright dick and just called Alley Cat the Rat. Alley Cat was pretty funny. What else was I had talking points written down. Hold on, let me check. She did give Caspian Betol's number. And that was the beginning of the end. You can all blame. So if anybody's sad about the ending, everybody go blame Alley Cat. Who was farting? I have no idea. I'm like 90% sure there was some invisible mod running around doing fart sounds. Do you want to know the truth? I want to know the truth. Or keep the farts a mystery. B. It was actually a written script. There was no mod. Oh, very clever. The fart script. Release the ancient scripters. Release the fart script. I was confused because Blank Blank was the mod and nobody was near me and I was ripping jeans and Sandy alone. That makes sense. I was wondering because there was some like really like aura moments where there was tons of fart sounds going off and I was like, I don't think a mod would be doing this right now. But there's like a lot of fart sounds, and I've just got to play it off like I don't hear that. Yeah, I don't think it was Sada. I don't think it was Sada farting, but it seemed like it sometimes. Beef farting while beefing it? That's crazy. I can fart myself, thank you very much. Oh, I never finished talking about the, what was I gonna say? Dude, man, B's whole part on that server was so fucking crazy. Big round of applause. Hats off to B. Hats off to B for carrying that whole narrative on her own back. What other characters did I interact with a lot? There were so many characters I interacted with a lot. Man, the admins did such a good job. It's such a cool server. And it's still going on, by the way. I do want to quickly say, VTRP is not over until the 18th. I don't have a ton of time to dedicate to it because of all the Christmas projects I'm working on. But it is still going. I also wanted to say thank you to Mr. Cider, John K. Cider. I believe that was Yankin Palm. Did a great job. Very cool character to riff off of. Beef Jesus was incredibly funny and incredibly well done and just really quick and witty and like just felt like a natural part of the group. Like the trio of Barnacles, Jesus, and Gavin was such a perfect fit. And while I think Caspian was a good counterbalance to them, like on the opposite end of that weight, I don't think he like fit into the three amigos the same way as somebody like Ruze Crimson would have, right? But I think he was a good counterbalance to them, and that's a good thing. That's still important. Beef was so fucking good. Beef was so good. Also, John K. Sider being such a, like, in a way, a reflection of Caspian was really, really good. Reaper did a great job, just incredible aura all the time. Like, wherever I failed to aura farm, it felt like Reaper was always succeeding. I was always like, damn it, they're so cool. I wish I was that cool. Dog, or Juan Wanilla, in this case, incredible. An emotional beat I did not expect out of a character who called themselves Dog and just roleplayed a sentient dog. Who else was I constantly interacting with? There's so many people who I was like fucking like hanging out with. Caspian allowed other characters to be a bit more serious instead of always leaning into silly. Yes, no, Caspian. I don't regret my, like. I think most of what I wanted to happen with the server, most of the things I set out to do and challenge myself for, happened. I really, really, really am happy with how things went. I'm glad I challenged myself. But I will say this for this roleplay: every single day at the end of the stream, I was dead. I was so exhausted. I was like, thank God that's over. Not like, oh, it was negative, it was bad. Just, I cannot be this guy for like 6 to 8 hours. It is draining beyond belief. Not making my jokes, not being a silly little guy, purposely missing comedic beats, trying to aura farm. It is killing me. Being like this super dry, dour dude is murdering me. And on top of that, like racking my brain to try and figure out the actual plot, but in a like in-character sense. Oh my God, I'm dying. And I am glad I did it. I did what I set out to do. I made a serious character. I stuck to my guns. I stayed serious throughout in the face of incredible silliness. And I think he helped enrich like the rest of the narrative through his presence. But good God, I want to be silly. Was Clifford easier? Yeah, Clifford was easier. Clifford was just fucking, he was goofy. That's all he did was he made stupid jokes and like threw off like big long, like he went on speeches like Caspian does, but he wasn't farming aura points. So the speeches were always some comedic, like long-winded, stupid-ass metaphor that ended up in some sort of dumbass joke or some like weird, I don't know. It always ended up some back-ass words like comedic beat. So that was easy for me. Yeah, Clifford was easier. Question, if you weren't planning to pull the Caspian versus Uncle angle at first, what would have been the motivation to kill Bettel and Barnacles? That wasn't his motivation at first. The Bettel and Barnacles have to die motivation was later. Would I do a serious character again? Yes. Maybe not my next character, but yes, I will do a serious character again. And I think that's why I like DMing so much, because I get to swap back and forth between characters really quickly. So I don't have to be serious for too long or silly for too long, and that's nice. But if I had to pick, I would stay silly for too long over serious for sure. I like quippy, like Spider-Man type characters who can be serious, but they tend to be jokers even in the face of serious situations. They tend to make comedic beats no matter how dire things are. I especially like those characters because much like my real self, the only time they get serious is when things are really hitting the fan. And that is, I hope, when you know that things are genuinely dire. Zuda says, non-character question. Are there any game mechanics or systems you wish you could have used more or are pretty satisfied with? More? No. Less? Yes. I think GTA is very, very cool, and it's an interesting plot or setting or vehicle for roleplay, but because the game itself lacks any meaningful goals, it makes it a little harder to have stakes. My problem with GTA as a vehicle for roleplay is that it is the equivalent in my mind to roleplaying in like, which I've never done this, but in my head, it sits in the same space as like, why don't you just roleplay in VR chat or text-based? because it's the same thing. You kind of just have to make everything up. Like, yes, there's visuals, but there's no goals. Like, money means nothing. Weapons mean nothing. Drugs mean nothing. Where if you look at something as silly as Minecraft, visually, it is significantly less impressive than GTA, so the stakes should theoretically be lower. But there is a gameplay loop. There are goals to push towards. There are things to achieve. There's houses to be built. You get invested in the places that you invest in because you don't want to lose them. You don't want your character to die because you don't want to lose your gear. You don't want your pets to die because you care about them, because you tamed them. Where in GTA, you know, money it's quick, it's fast, it's loose. You can win 20,000 a day if you're lucky, or you could just, like, I don't know, drop 100K and not give a shit. Weapons are, you know, like, they're a dime a dozen. They rarely get taken from you. Prison time is just a death knell to content, so it's not a real punishment, more than a punishment for the streamer, not the character. So GTA, while cool, and I enjoy it still, I do not think it was made to be a roleplay device, and I struggle with it in that sense. Not us having to do a 5-minute car ride in silence for 2 silly people. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare, but I still did it. I wanted to talk so bad. If Cyberpunk had a multiplayer mode, do you think it'd be a cool setting for GTA-style RP? Yeah, absolutely. Actually, that's funny, because I was thinking to myself, what game would be good for roleplay? Because I have all these criticisms, right? But I'm like, well, what would be better? I don't fucking know. I guess Minecraft's the only one I can think of. I'm like, Ark? But Ark has such a strong aesthetic direction that you kind of are forced to write a certain type of character. And I was like, okay, well, maybe like Valheim? Nope. You kind of are forced to write a certain type of character in Valheim. I'm like, oh. Then I was like, oh, Cyberpunk would be great, but Cyberpunk's not multiplayer, so it doesn't matter. It just doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? Zomboid would be good, but because Zomboid's not third or first person, I think people struggle to engage with it in a visual sense. I have noticed as a content creator, isometric games don't do well. They don't keep people's attention. Somehow being divorced from the character that far away just doesn't work. I don't know why. It's weird because I'm very invested in it as the player, but I get it. People just don't want to look at it. It's the same way like Path of Exile streams tend to do shit. I love Path of Exile too. I think it's a great just chatting game and I want to play it more, but I'm aware that if it is a top-down isometric view, people are just not interested for the most part. It's not their fault. Aurora_the_ice_dragon 1983 says Clifford's bits of serious wisdom combined with your natural silly wit gave so many VCraft players comedic whiplash. That's what I love, is going back and forth though. That's so fun. They loved RPing with you. Thank you. And thank you for the soup, and thank you for saying so. Trekkie140 thank you for 2 years of being a jackass, by the way. Says, Caspian reminds me of characters like Blackadder and Caiaphas Cain, where they're smarter than everyone else around them, but they always have a funny dynamic as he struggles to manipulate all the other idiots around him. When the wit is done right, it kills me. I will say Caspian had a certain subtle comedic bent that I could not resist leaning into. And I think you need that as a content creator, right? Like, I can't just sit here and be dry forever. You won't want to watch him, because characters like Walter White, or like Walter White is still comedic. He has comedic moments when he's interacting with his family or something goes wrong. Characters like Gus Fring and Silco work not because they're comedic, which they don't have comedic moments, but because they are in short spats where they make you hold your breath. They are the tension in the scene in every scene they're in. So they have to have short scenes. That's why they're not the main characters. That's why they're not on screen for too long. But if I'm playing Caspian nonstop for 8 hours, I've got to have a subtle bit of comedic bit. If I don't, you're not going to want to watch him. I wouldn't want to play him. So, I mean, I'll admit I indulged in a little bit of that dry comedy a bit, and I'm happy I did. Choco Milk Tea! YouTube, thank you for 8 months of being a Ruzader. The range in RP performances is impressive. Clifford from VCraft and Caspian from VTRP was like night and day. Very inspiring. Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you, Zips Off the Cat 9690. Will I go back to VTRP with the raining days for another character? No. Probably not. I considered popping in on the last day, but I will probably not have time to do that. I've just got too many Christmas projects lined up, and I'm not gonna lie, these little presents I've been leaving you guys in shorts, I'm barely finishing those on time. I basically, as soon as I'm done with stream, the first thing I do is I knock my homework out, and then I stay up till like 9 a.m. working on those. And I'm keeping up, but I'm so tired of like just getting 1 or 2 done a day and then not doing more than I want to do. And there are many more in the stocking for you, and I'm happy to work on those, but I need time. So, Tawi. I had a great time on GTA VTRP. I'm so thankful to everybody for running the server. Thank you, Berrybug, by the way, as well. I'm thankful that I was able to join and that I was invited, but I also got to take care of my little Ruzaders. Otherwise, they're all going to flee into the wilderness and chew on other people's like support beams, and that would be bad. I would get in trouble. I'd get sued for that. I hope to RP again. I was considering the merits of like, well, what if I ran an RP server? But I'm like, man, I don't really want to run it. Like, that's kind of what HoloMarches is for, is to allow me to be the DM. I want to be in RP servers. I don't want to run RP servers. And I know how much work goes into them, and it's selfish of me, but the truth is I don't have time or the effort to put in right now to do that. So, what happened to trying out Octavia's advice with working? I'll try it out after I'm done with this project. Let's say that's a New Year's goal. Would you ever play characters like Warlock or Entity? Someone behind the scenes, or being DM enough? Honestly, being a DM is enough for me. I would consider it maybe for 1 or 2 RP servers as like a favor. If like, you know, like I've enjoyed these RP servers, maybe it's time I put in my time. If somebody needs help with that, I would definitely consider it. But for the most part, I would rather participate in RP than run RP. You know? Actually one scene that really stands out to me, speaking of GTA VTRP, was the scene where the Warlock, great job, by the way, B, absolutely crazy, took on the form of Ruze and trying to like weasel out, like, how would Caspian react to this? And I think it was disquieting to a degree, but it wasn't like, I think maybe because I didn't know it was B, I thought maybe the Warlock had the wrong read on Caspian and thought Caspian cared about Ruze more than he did. But I think in a way that scene helped me realize that maybe Caspian cared for Ruze more than he thought he did. I think maybe Caspian had forgotten, and still probably doesn't know, what like true connection or affection feels like. And he had accidentally become fond of Ruze without realizing that that's why he was so personally interested in dealing with this business, and why he wouldn't leave the city and just come back later and deal with it. So I don't think it was like an effect that would have damned Caspian or made him like lose his shit or be super like hurt, but I think it made him like take a look inside himself and be like, damn, I guess I did like that kid. That sucks. I do wish I had more time. I wish I hadn't been so burnt by that point in that stream to like really like dig deep and think about that a bit more and have Caspian kind of introspect on that a bit more. But I still really enjoyed it. It was such a cool scene. It was one that I think turned Caspian's character arc a bit for me and kind of set him back into like, kind of in a bad way, set him back on the path of being a man of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Principles. Like he almost like doubled down on his principles rather than interpreting, I think I actually liked my nephew more than I did. It's more like, yeah, I do need to get vengeance for my family's reputation in his head. It's just how he rationalizes that feeling. Metasheep says, is Caspian like a duck, calm and serene on the surface while paddling like crazy under the water? I think so. I think if you really dug down into Caspian's psyche, he's afraid. He's a man who's motivated by fear. And so he grasps at power and pushing that power down on other people. He puts the boot down on other people's throat because he's afraid of feeling powerless. He's afraid of, I don't know, maybe he had a troubled youth and he's afraid of feeling like that again. He's a man who wants safety. Yeah. If you had a run-in with Tushans, how would you have killed him? Probably a cool, dramatic gun showdown. Woo! But I'm glad that scene happened. It was so fucking cool. Also, big shout out to B for trusting me to like be quick enough to capture, to spot Ruze just blipping in and out of existence and not like, I don't know, to grab that thread in a way. Thank you for trusting me as a role player enough to not like make a joke out of that and like, you know, follow that thread. I got quick eyes, B. It's the Hunt Showdown in me. You were absolutely crazy at pulling those strings, though. You did such an insane job, just in general. Also, I forgot that now that I think, the fucking person who was playing Reaper, I think they were also fucking, what was it, Granny Applebottom or whatever. Talk about range. It's good to see other people doing like tons of different characters and stuff. And B being able to be the Warlock, but also be B33 is so fucking cool. Just so many cool things, dude. So many cool people playing so many different like interesting characters and archetypes and stuff. And fucking Brad and Kyler being like these goofy high school bullies who ended up like kind of having their own arc and their own beautiful love blossom or whatever. That was so cool. The jellyfish that ruined your day. Thank you for an entire month. Says, as you were talking about streaming RP and views, I just want to say that if someone has zero patience to watch entire streams, I watch all of the RP ones. Fuck yeah, thank you. I'm glad. Oh, sorry, college bullies. True. They acted like 90s high school bullies who push you in a locker, but you're right, they were college bullies. They messed with Octavio. I was wondering why Octavio was interacting with them. I was like, why is he talking to them like he knows them? Days of underscore Euphoria says, I want to send my milestone chat, but I don't know what's right. Hi, Ruze. Thanks for being you. Thank you for 11 months, and thank you for being you. Dude, Buntrix was really funny, and I wish I got to interact with them more. I was really sad I didn't get to interact with Sky Blue more, because I was like, oh, it's Nemu, let me interact. But I didn't have time, because I kept getting wrapped up in, like, everybody else's bullshit. And every time I was, like, waiting around and staring at my phone, waiting for Sky Blue to log on, I'm like, get on! And it just never happened in those early days. And by the time it did happen, it was like, okay, well, now I'm involved in all these other side plots, The first bump tricks had me breaking character. I was holding on for dear life. I hope we get the Saja guys next year. Okay, no problem. Next year, I'll challenge myself not to play a serious or a silly character, but I'll be a sexy K-pop. No, I'm just kidding. The Soju guys? Hell no, dude. Blue Leaf 11, thank you for 2 months. Thanks for the RP adventure. Let's go. Real? No, not real. No. I will not. I will absolutely not. No, I won't. You're right. I won't do it. You're right. I won't. Tease? I'm sorry, dude. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I can't. Listen, I'll play chicken with being a serious character all day long, but the moment I roll up to someone and I'm like, sexy K-pop idol guy, and they're like, I'll be sexy too. I'm not playing that game of chicken. I'm leaving. I'm walking out of that situation. I'm slipping on the baby oil right out the fucking door of that role play. Sorry, dude. Nah, I'm good. So underscore sorry. Thank you for 15 months. Says, haven't had time to go through the last 3 RP streams due to finals, but I can't wait to go through them. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. There were some dry parts in mine, but it all, chef's kiss, how it all ended up tying together. Thank you, Ocean Stalker. You can be a glass cannon character. That's true. That's true. Indie underscore Himura says, yeah, that's a tricky situation to be in. It is. It is. And I am not pointing any fingers. I'm not saying anybody would do this, but I'm saying with my luck, I would find the one person who would do this who's like, finally, someone else is being sexy. How erotic can I make this? And I'd be like, ooh, bye. Don't call Ingrid by her government name. Sorry, who? Indie underscore Himura, you mean? On second thought, no, someone might take us seriously. Exactly. You guys are like, that would be funny from an audience perspective until it's not funny. And then it's not funny. You like challenges, don't you? Not that challenge. You cannot appeal to my competitive nature to bait me into an ERP situation. I am no fool. You cannot. Oh, you like a challenge, don't you? Me into that one. Horizon Leah, thank you for 23 months. Turk's Christmas present is in the mail. I got him 17 Ghibli plushies. Please make sure he gets them. Thank you. Also, 23 months feels insane. I feel like I just got here. I feel like I just got here. That's crazy. Oh, be a robot that can't express any attraction. I think if I was thinking about this actually, Dia, because I liked Rob. I was like, how would I play a robot character? I was like, I think I would want to play like sort of like a Wally character, but like this sort of like bubbly, super, like almost somewhere between like Omo Chow and like Tutorial Bot and like Wally type of like bubbly, like, hello everyone, my name is Ruze, and I would like to talk to you today about, and then like have this sort of like maybe like a higher pitch, sort of like almost fast-paced talking, but still a little robotic. But like be really naive and kind of curious about things. RUZ3. Unit RU model Z3. Oh, dude, the Claptrap from Borderlands. That would be that's an archetype that is not evergreen. It's funny in the moment, but then people get tired of it pretty quick, I find. Can you hold that voice for hours? Maybe. If I was gonna do a robot villain, though, a robot villain might be cool to do. Here, let me see if this voice works. Hold up, let's try this real quick. What is a man? Oh, maybe I gotta, hold on. Maybe if I try to smooth out my voice a bit so it comes across a little bit more robot. Hold on. What is a man? Suffer, as I have. Maybe something like that, I don't know. It reminds me of Tomodachi Life. Oh no! I don't know what that sounds like because I can't hear my own mic, so I don't know if that was like working or not. But whatever. Open the pod bay doors! How many voices are you up to at this point? I don't know, dude. A lot, probably. There were so many moments that worked out for Caspian that like just shouldn't have, like overhearing the wizard talking to the interview guy and just standing there quietly and listening. I mean, the mayor talking to the wizard guy, just standing there quietly listening, and that's how I learned about the artifact. Or getting more information out of people because I just kept like asking people random bullshit, and for some reason Caspian seemed trustworthy, I guess. People just kept telling him stuff. I'm like, I don't know why you would talk to this man about anything, but I'm glad they did. Bro, I would do a Cyberpunk set. It's funny because when I was playing Cyberpunk initially, maybe I'm just like a little hipster shitlord, but when I was playing Cyberpunk initially, I tried to play it with no modifications until I realized in the opening you have to have a modification. Your eyes and your palms are already modified. But I was going to go through Cyberpunk and see how hard it was to play through the entire thing as a regular human. So I tried to do as few mods as I could, but once I realized there's no way around it, I was like, fuck it. And I went full like hacker mode, which might be one of the more boring ways to play, but it felt very... chef's kiss. Cyberpunk would be cool because I would want to play a Caspian-esque villain, I think, in Cyberpunk, but like with a god complex, because in that setting you can literally like set people's minds on fire with your brain by hacking into their systems and lighting their heads on fire and shit. I do wish Cyberpunk 2077 had a multiplayer mode. I think it would be a lot of fun. And there's so much more potential for like growth as a character because there's an RP system in there. So you can like train up your abilities. You can get stronger. You can gather more equipment. You can modify your body more. So you could have people like running around those like invisible cyber ninjas who jump off walls with like mantis blades in their arms. You could have people who you never even see them. They hack a camera and they use that camera to hack your brain when they spot you type of shit. That would be crazy. You can have people who like can punch through walls or throw a car at you. Crazy shit. Bro, causing all that chaos, by the way, Nitro Rugrat, you're right. I can't believe that worked as well as it did. And everybody just listened. I was like, wow, that was easy. When the warlock was like, cause chaos, thanks B, and Caspian just, I mean, honestly, they kind of suggested it themselves, and then Caspian was like, yeah, here's how we're gonna do it. And everybody just agreed, and they split up, and they waited for the fucking like keyword, and it was able to be organized. I was like, wow, that actually worked out. Another aura moment for Caspian. Good for you, buddy. You shouldn't have, but you did it. It shouldn't have worked. They shouldn't have listened. And it shouldn't have been so easy to like orchestrate, because it's just like that's so many people typically, like someone would pull the trigger early, or someone would be like, well, I don't like that plan, or someone would be like, I'm gonna go do my own thing, but it worked out. Yeah, the other players were playing along really well. I have no idea who the vampire was, unfortunately, no. I have not gone back and watched any clips yet or looked at the sheet that has all the people on it. Oh, I see. Who was the entity? I don't know. No idea, Igloo_Igloo. Oh, it's Otaru. Amaya, thank you for 10 months. Yay, for another 10 months. You did absolutely great in the VTRP. Love Caspian. Can't wait for more, and need more RP adventures in the future. Also, happy holidays. Thank you. Thank you for 10 months. Mikaru-chan 129-07Q. Thank you for 22 months of being an Axel. Hi, Ruze. Here's to another 22 months of streaming and me tuning in every day like my favorite soap operas are on. P.S. The RP was amazing. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Hi, Cozy. Hope you had tons of fun. I did. I was just talking about how crazy it was that you were able to go from Granny Applebottom to Reaper and how I thought you were B, and that's why I was way too forward and comfortable. Anyway, great job bouncing off of that. Did we ever speak to the entity? I don't think Caspian had many conversations with the entity. I think one, technically, but mostly it was through text. Dude, Sadako was so funny. Sadako saying bye-bye and then walking off into the snow, though, was very sad. I do wonder what the answer to that riddle was. I was racking my brain over the coals because, like, death could work. Darkness could work, fear could work. Obviously, there's a lot of spider allegory in there. I think I ended up coming down to the idea of, like, it was probably a Black Widow because, like, that's one of the most feared spiders. It's a dark spider, but it doesn't feed on fear, so that also still doesn't make sense. Arachnophobia could work, Daya. That's true. Who was a fucking doppelganger for Sada, by the way? That threw me for a fucking loop when we found dog eating human flesh or whatever, and then like an albino Sada came running out swinging. I was like, what the hell? What is happening? And then fucking Bo rolling over like, oh, I can help out with that. And then just fucking... That happens every time she took LSD. Really? Huh. Could the answer be Caspian? A spider that doesn't eat flies? Maybe. Oh, hold on. My everything just crashed. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Why does this only happen in just chatting? Oh, I wonder if it's the program I run for my... Huh. Interesting. Huh. I'm beginning to think it's actually the program crashing, and it crashes my PC a little bit. Huh. How curious. My hands! My beautiful hands! Did I? Okay, I was like, wait a minute. That took me a minute. Oh, Void, how we've all missed you. Yeah, everything crashed again. I'm starting to think I know what's happening though. That is how 7 days past. Sadako got me. It's over now. I'm starting to think I know what's crashing this, which is good and also annoying. Also, I wanted to give a quick shout out to fucking all the other role players who made this possible and all the other narratives that were happening. I don't want anybody to feel like they weren't part of like a main narrative, because that never feels good. I think that like the joy of servers like this, especially with so many players, just like in VCraft, is seeing so many different narratives unfolding at once, because you get to have your cake and eat it too. You're like, more cake, more cake. No matter what, there's so many different people having so many different things happening that no one story, I think, functions as like the main narrative. Like you could argue that like Jordicus was the main character, or Barnacles was the main character, or Betol was the main character, or possibly Caspian was a good secondary villain. But I think that like all of the narratives combined is what makes it interesting. Yeah, and then watching those stories slam into each other. Like a subway. Exactly. Everyone's playing the main character in their own story. And I love that. Yeah, big shout out to everybody who organized all those cool events like the Fight Club and the Drag Race. Exactly. There's no RP without its players. 100%. Oh, also cannot be understated. Big shout out to Saoirse for getting these art assets done on such short notice. Thank you. I'm sorry the only reference I had to give you was my ugly ass GTA character. I know they're not the most pretty people in the universe, but thank you so much for getting the art assets done on a really short notice. I was hemming and hawing for too long, and it took me forever to decide on a character. So very fast. Thank you. One of the best, like, I don't know, like asset artists I know. I hope you guys like how Caspian ended up looking. Keep him in your hearts. I think it just adds that extra like oomph for me. Like it gives me like, cause like obviously games are limited by the assets that are in the games and the art that is in the game. And a lot of times, you know, it's an older game or it's like a style I don't really like, or there's no way to make a character that kind of like captures what I'm envisioning. So seeing it like on the screen, staring back at me, sometimes like wearing that cool costume that I'm wearing now, that's what gives me like that extra oomph. It's like being an actor on a stage, you know? Yeah, same with Clifford. My only regret is that I never did like a Ruze costume. But at the time, I never thought about it. Yeah, he was pretty early. That's okay, though. Hey, you Ruze? I don't know about that. Poor Ruze. He had no ass. The costumes really had something special. I'm glad you like them. That's true, Blaze 5934. I could not have predicted that. I love the eye bags asset, and I'm intending to keep that sometimes just to use. That is not what it was made for, but sorry, thank you for making them. I'm using them in other places. I love it. I hope there's Caspian Reaper arts as we are doing. There's actually, I think there was a comic, I want to say, with Caspian and Reaper, their first interaction. So keep an eye out for that. Or make your own art, I guess. I don't know. There is a good amount of Caspian battle art. It's really good. And there's a little bit of Caspian Barnacles art out there. And I'm not saying like shippy art, just of their interactions and stuff, obviously. I mean, shippy art too, whatever. I don't care. Do what you want. Have fun. You get to do whatever you want. I hope you use the glasses again. Yeah, hell yeah. Great asset. I'm glad you like it, McNuggets3460. Let me go look back at my notes and see if I've got anything else I wanted to talk about that I missed. I talked about the Warlock, I talked about B, I talked about Ruze, I talked about Caspian's inspiration and design, I talked about the server and the cool events, and the mayorship. God, all the cool characters, and all the good role players. Cranberry Mimo, what do you mean the government names are crazy? They're fine. Oh, one thing I didn't talk about. Oh, shit, I've already been going for 2 hours. All right, I got to wrap up here. I'll say this last thing. One thing I didn't talk about is I feel like often on these RP servers, just because of my idle duties, I tend to miss out on some stuff, and I often have the bad luck of missing when shit really goes down in the big events and stuff, and I missed a few things this time, but not too much, and I really wanted to give you guys a character who has a satisfying narrative end, and not somebody I'm just trying to roll with the punches and deal with the fact that I kind of missed most of the narrative. Like, I feel like Clifford was really good, but obviously I was forced to miss a lot of, like, really important stuff. And I still gave that character closure, but not in the way I wanted to, unfortunately. So I'm glad I was able to do that. I think I reached almost all of my goals with Caspian. There's a few things I wanted to happen that didn't, but that's the nature of roleplay. And honestly, if everything went exactly as I planned or I tried to design it to, I would have been sad. And a lot of, much more of it was stuff I never would have expected, and that's great. But I am glad I was able to have a closure with a character that feels like it was something that would have been, you know, narratively appropriate if he was a character in a movie or a book or something, and is good closure for you guys. So that was one of my main goals with this guy setting out. And I think I did that. I think I hit most of the big points. I made a serious character. I stuck to my guns. I didn't devolve down into like silly, goofy jokes like I usually do. I maintained some level of aura. I stayed a bad guy throughout. I didn't make him too redeemable. And I got that closure. So I will say I'm pretty happy with how this all went. I think I'm exhausted, and this has been the most challenging character I've ever roleplayed. Maybe the first time I've truly challenged myself in roleplay and not just played something that felt natural, but boy, am I happy I did it. I think I've grown as a role player. I learned a lot. I think I would argue I've graduated from novice to intermediate in role playing through this experience and through trying to like approach a character I otherwise wouldn't be good at or comfortable doing, especially in a setting where it's hard to be that character. I'm happy I did that. So I'm proud. I'm pleased with how everything went. So yeah. Anyway, this has been my yap about GTA VTRP. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Big shout out to everybody for hosting the server, everybody who role played, both with each other and with me, everybody who set up cool events, everybody who like went along with whatever goofy, silly narratives happened, people who tolerated me being like sort of a dry aura farmer in the corner and weren't too put off by that. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching. I know that sometimes this type of character can be a little slow paced, and there's moments where it's like, oh, nothing's really happening here for like an hour, and it's like, yeah, that's true, I know, I'm aware. But thank you for sticking it out, and I think it all closed off so nice and neat that it was worth all those moments that seemed a little like longer periods of introspection or just not much happening. I think it was totally justified. I'm happy it happened. Sigma_AU, thank you for 14 months of being a jackass. Thanks for the awesome RP. I had to miss most of VCraft, so I'm happy I got to actually experience this one as it was happening. Hell yeah! I hope you enjoyed it. Yippee! Anyway, mission accomplished. I did it! Thank you for the roses. Thank you for the soups. I do a kiss. I do a bow. I do a kiss. I do a bow. Drink in the last of the Caspian outfit, because I don't know when that's happening again. Lily Gilly, thank you for the rose. Thank you. Well, not a kiss. I blow a kiss. All right, you'll have to save your burning questions for next time. I'll miss him until next time. Hell yeah. Here we go. Thank you again. Thank you, Akia. Thank you for the roast. Thank you, Akari. Thank you for the roast. All right. Goodbye. I'm going to take you over to, I think Goldie's live right now, actually. Actually, a bunch of people live. Holy shit. What? Falcona again? You're crazy. Thank you, Falcona _Natalius for the delicious Crimzupa. Thank you for that soup. An extra blown kiss for you. Thank you. Genuinely, thank you so much for all the support. Woo! I could finally buy more soup dumplings. I was so scared after all that RP. Flapjack Jackson, thank you for the rose. Thank you. Oh, that's such a big soup. Thanks. My VOD question. What was your favorite Caspian Recluse moment? Why? What was your favorite moment with Caspian Recluse? Either from his perspective or somebody else's or whatever, really. Oh, yes, B streams on Twitch under B2, the number 2, BR. Go check her out. She's great. All right, so it looks like right now the people that are streaming are... We got a big group collab. A couple people playing League of Legends. You know what? I'm going to take you over to Goldie, because I imagine the group collab is doing well enough on its own, and you're all probably already over there as it is, dual monitoring. So Goldie is currently playing Donkey Kong Country Returns. Yeah, go say hi for me. Jojo Kokami, thank you for 7 months. Thanks for the amazing RP. It was really crazy. You're crazy. Okay, bye. The VOD question of the day is, what was your favorite Caspian Recluse moment and why? Bye-bye. Thanks for hanging out for the post RP yap. Iwashi _stars. Atsu for GTA RP. I'm so glad you challenged yourself with Caspian. Thank you for the presents too. More dumpling funds. Good luck for the meeting. Thank you. Oh shit, I've got my meeting. That's right, I better go. Thank you for the soup. Thank you for the dumpling funds. Goodbye, you bunch of assholes. Remember always, I still hate you. Also, thank you for 19 months. Tenko 6112. I don't know why I needed that big ass like suction of air to read your numbers. Maybe it's for dramatic pause. I don't know. I will not get some sleep. I will go do this meeting and then I will go and work on more presents for you. You're welcome, you disgusting little animals. Don't say I didn't ever do anything for you. Oh, love you, dickhead. No, wait, that's not it. Love you, dickhead. Why can't I do an Australian accent suddenly? What happened? Hold on. No. I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. for Warcraft 3. It's a game from my childhood, and I'm excited to share that with you guys. So we're going back to some normal streams after this. If you've never seen Warcraft 3, stick around. Let me yap about it a bit. It is going to be a top-down isometric game, but I think that the narrative is worth exploring, and I'll explain why I love it so much as I go through it. Yeah, I think you're going to be excited to see that, or at least I hope you will. And if you're not, you hate me and you want me to die, and fuck you. Bye. Say hi to Goldie.